Okay, so welcome back. First of all, sorry if these are getting repetitive. I'm submitting a lot of cards, and honestly, it's just for my own reference to look back at someday and see what I submitted at what tier and like when it's coming back and stuff like that. Because in 2020, I did submit a whole bunch of stuff, and some of it I just forgot, and it's kind of nice to be able to look back at it. So I hope you enjoy as well. Almost gonna be like 500 cards this week. This little stack I might send for the $30 tier. I haven't really looked too closely if or at least I haven't submitted them yet into the system. All of the other cards are already submitted for the $15 special. I think to be eligible for the $15 special, it's running until, I believe PSA mentioned it was until the 31st of October, so the end of the month. And pretty much you have to have a membership. For some cards I did already start pre-grading, like before before the tier was open. So some you might see my pre-grades on them. I was gonna do it for everything, but they opened too quickly. So yeah, the $15 tier is only for club members, but I think it's like $99 to become a club member. You save $3 per card, so if you're gonna be submitting cards to PSA and you're gonna submit more than 33, like maybe now or maybe like in the next year, you should get the membership, I guess, because it's just cheaper to submit more than 33 cards with the tier. So yeah, these are gonna be 3 submissions. Like I kind of did them in an order that you'll see. I did English like WotC first, so all of the 3 submissions that I have will have shell in the front, then just English cards, and it's mainly just, I think, random as well. I don't want to do like Japanese modern cards on the front. And then, okay, so these are the English cards for the first sub. I don't really want to do like English or Japanese new back or like the newest Japanese cards, because I think they're really like nice. And like if you submit that first and then you submit shadowless or you submit stuff like this, it's very possible that the grader might think like, oh, okay, these previous ones were very nice, and the next ones, okay, they're not so nice, so we'll not give 10s on any of those. But of course, technically that shouldn't be the case, because it should be unbiased unbiased grading. But yeah, I think that any human being grading our cards, and even if it was a robot or whatever, like yeah, pretty much there will be bias at some point. Like we have some play promos. I think the Ho-Oh is really bad, but these I've been setting back for a while, so I hope to get 9s on most of these. And like most of the cards that you see in the subs, hopefully, because it's $15 tier, I hope to do decently well on them. So 8 at worst is kind of what I'm hoping for, and I hope to see a lot of 9s and 10s. Like most cards are not incredibly valuable, even in 10s, but yeah, I just submit a whole bunch. So we're on to the Japanese like older cards, and yeah, I'm gonna just power through all of these submissions, because otherwise it's gonna be a very long video again. And yeah, this is stuff that I think these the non-holo should be hopefully all in at least like PSA 9 quality. And I've only picked up the good ones, so the Eevees and the Pikachus and all that kind of stuff. I had some of the first set still left, and we go on to the first stack of the mid-era. Like I still have a ton of stuff that I can submit from like the mid-era, Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, EX, all of that stuff, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but they're all in questionable grades, as in like probably 8, 9, or maybe below. So I don't really want to send out a whole bunch of stuff that might get like 8s and might get 8s in cards that are not very popular and not very liquid. Like then I'd rather submit cards like this, a bit modern stuff that I can just sell quickly, and like if it gets a 9, I can probably break even on it. If it gets a 10, I can hopefully make a bit of money on it. So like liquidity over over rarity, and yeah, at least for right now. Like eventually I'll start grading everything again, especially if they one day come back with $10 grading, but for now it's just the stuff that I've had saved up, and like I've already submitted like the real good stuff. I think I've shown that in videos already, or at least the stuff that I consider to be real good stuff. And yeah, a while ago I made a video about the $22 tier. I'm not very upset that they lowered the prices, because yeah, I was gonna submit those anyway. And yeah, okay, it kind of sucks that I did it for the 22, but at the same time I hope that they maybe get back a little bit quicker than the $15 tier, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, that was only like 120 cards, so compare that to like the $18 that they had previous. It's like, yeah, only $4 per card extra. And I was maybe going to submit stuff like this at 18 as well at some point, so the fact that I can submit like 500 cards now at $3 under the 18 saves me a lot more than I wasted on the on the $22 tier rather than the 18. So I don't really mind that much, and yeah, I just want to get the ball rolling and start to submit a bunch of stuff and like get it back, hopefully, because honestly that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And like I still have a ton of like ungraded or raw like non-holos, and even like holos from this era, like the non-popular Pokemon in like decent condition, but I don't really want to submit an insane amount of that because they are slow sellers. And I think most people watching these videos and submitting stuff to PSA and such are people who live in America. And yeah, I don't sell anything on eBay because eBay is just not very great in Europe, and I'll have to look into maybe one day. But right now I have my hands full with the two selling platforms that I'm working on right now. And yeah, I will probably branch out into eBay and see how it goes. But yeah, my buyer pool is pretty limited, so I only want to submit stuff that's gonna get decent grades and also has a high chance of like selling decently fast. You know, like let's let's not have the stack fall over. So a whole bunch of like Japanese older stuff, some holos, and we go on with a whole bunch more. The Hungry Snorlax from the CD promos, some more non-holos, set of the I didn't have too many of the Flareons, but I think those should all get decent grades. I'm holding too many cards in my hand, it's hard to shuffle. Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. Like there might be some scratches and whatever, but I think some of the cards might have scratches actually, but also a lot might be due to the light and the semi-rigids, like the thick sleeves, they scratch easy, I think. But the cards inside are fine, and also like everything is in like clean sleeves. And here we have a whole bunch of Charizards, because why not? And that was the second box / submission. Gotta remember to put everything back in order, because otherwise it's I'm gonna have to go through everything once again. I'm planning to send these out today, and yeah, today is, at least for me, it's the 13th of October. Like, it might have looked as in that I submitted the cards in the last video, or like the last submission video for the $22 tier, that I submitted those on like the day that the $15 tier opened, but that was not the case. I submitted them like probably 2 weeks before that, but I just didn't get around to making the video. This one is actually pretty clean, but I think it's a little tiny bit off center. So I was contemplating sending it to CGC, but I'll just get a PSA 10 on that if possible. Like I tried to get a CGC 10 on a Pikachu, and that only got a 9.5. I was very surprised that there's only like the shellless like yellow cheeks. There's only like, it's a pop 7 or something, which is crazy because they have quite a decent amount submitted. But yeah, I think all shellless cards have usually got like super minor issues. Like I've only gotten one pristine 10 on a War Turtle once from from the shot list, so I kind of gave up. And like, it's not that I gave up, like I would have submitted it, but I was already preparing this order anyway, so I figured, yeah, I might just throw it in there as well. So stuff like this is insane. I looked at the prices of like PSA 9. I think this is gonna get an 8. I don't remember why, but it's got like little nicks and like maybe some scratches on the hollow or something. But I think a 9 of these, this sold it for like $140 on eBay. That's crazy. So high. Like I come from the time where those cards were maybe like $5, and like I know of course that price memory is, yeah, it doesn't always help, but then you kind of like get stuck in prices and you're like, oh, that's way too expensive. So I try not to do that, but it does surprise me that some of those cards are going for so much money, especially when comparing that to other stuff. Like there are still so many cards that I think are just personally cooler. Like that's always how it works. Like maybe they're a bit rarer or cooler and they go for less, but yeah, that's the hobby for you. There is, as you can see, a million different cards, so it's always interesting to see which ones go for more. As you can see, I bought the book, one of the Illustrator books recently, so I got this one and the, let me grab it, the Pikachu. So pretty cool cards. This one, unfortunately, it's like bent through the middle. Like, I don't know if it catches on camera, but yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, but this one looks really good. So hoping for a 10 on that, and then that should get me the book for free. Pretty much. So we go on to the last stack, trying to go as quickly as possible to show everything in the video, but yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll see when it comes back. So looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of stuff, so I think most of it is still gonna be like I mentioned, like PSA 8, PSA 9 quality, although sometimes there's stuff like that, like Blastoise from base that this shouldn't get higher than a 7 at best. I assume it's maybe gonna get a 6 or 5. I don't really mind like submitting it for that much, but we'll just see what happens. And I want to get the ball rolling, and I'm not gonna be submitting 500 cards every month. I think I've submitted like 900 in total now, from like the $18 tier onwards, and yeah, I don't have to, like, I have a lot of cards that might make a profit if I grade them right now, but I'll just wait for the $10 tier, and I've grabbed too many cards again. So I'll put these down and we go on. So yeah, we just want to get the ball rolling, and then hopefully like every month or something I'll submit like 100 or 200 cards. Like this is what I was gonna do initially, and then I think I did it for like 3 months, and I was expecting my first submissions to come back after like 3 months, and then yeah, that was 2020, so I have like gotten those back like a few months ago. But I thought, okay, let's just send out a few, and then I'll wait for I'll send some stuff every month, so that every month I'm getting in some, and I'll send out every month like a little sub. And yeah, that didn't really work out too well, and I don't really want to ever be in a situation where I have so many cards, as you can see right now, in a backlog that I could grade at some point, because it's a lot of work trying to figure out which cards I want to send at which grade. So I hope that they stay open, so that anytime I get in a good collection or something, I can just go and submit it without having to put it back, and then like one day like look at everything at the same time and see if there's anything special in there. So yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, maybe I'll show some of the cards when they come back. Hopefully not in like another 2 or 3 years. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.